Question: is your phone the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning? Do you find yourself on your phone when you're working? Are you on Instagram before you get to bed? Is the number of hours that you are on Instagram longer than anything else you do? You have an addiction.
For me personally, it was a huge issue. I would be in my 20s on Facebook. How embarrassing. Or I wake up straight away in the morning and I'll hit Instagram or I'll hit Twitter. Like, I don't even know what I was doing on Twitter because Twitter is scary. Like, Twitter's only for the brave. Me, you will not find me on Twitter. Like, nah, Twitter's only for the brave. So yeah, I can't even include Twitter because I'm too scared to go on Twitter. But yeah, Instagram and Facebook have mainly been like my biggest hurdles. And I'm just gonna be talking about how I managed to like cut it, like just literally just like have a better relationship with social media and like improve my creativity, my productivity, anything that ends with the E. That's what coming off social media did for me. So I'm gonna go over how exactly I done it and like how you can do it and yeah, and the benefits. So the first thing I did was I mainly like read around digital minimalism, and once I got into like reading about digital minimalism through this book right here, I began kind of looking at other YouTubers or reading or listening to podcasts or watching Netflix programs just about social media and like its influences. So I really immersed myself into the world of like social media's negatives, really. And I kind of was just like, it wasn't even like something I just sat down and I decided. It really just happened. You know, once you get into it, then you find another thing, before you know it, you're like this digital minimalist guru, which I'm pretending to be right now. But yeah, I've done it and it worked. So I immersed myself. That's the first thing I did. I like immersed myself in like content and knowing about like how to come off social media and the influences of social media and like, yeah, even like in terms of like what the Bible, like the Bible's approach to social media, I went in. But yeah, that was the first thing I did. The second thing that I did was I completely removed it from all platforms. And this was advised from the book that I mentioned, Digital Minimalism. Kind of go through a few weeks of completely removing social media. So that's what I did. I completely removed it. And like, I'm not even gonna lie, I had withdrawals. I was withdrawing like a fiend. I was withdrawing like I was seriously addicted. I was withdrawing, checking, panting. In the middle of the night, I was thinking about posts, other people's posts, other people's stories. Yes, it was me. Like, I did it. I did that. So I just like withdrew from social media. And that was the advice from the book that I read. And that first bit was hard. But if I'm being completely honest, that was the time when I think like I immersed myself into reading. I'm using the word immerse so much. I don't know why. But that was the time that I began reading, and I think if not for like withdrawing myself during that time, I don't think I would have like got into reading. So I started reading loads because I didn't have anything else to do. Like I'll be in my bed like this. Ooh. Dabbling around, thinking about what to do. So I just grabbed a book, and I grabbed another book, and another book, and another book, and I just started reading. And that was the time where I just started reading loads. And then like just with anything that you take in, it begins to inspire you, begins to change the way that you think, it begins to change your outlook on life. And I think that then helped me build on my creativity. And and I think from there I was able to think up of new things, I was able to design different things, I was able to begin to write a book, just because I wasn't distracted and I was inspired from the books that I was reading and the research that I was doing and the free time that I had. So like that definitely helped. After like completely removing myself from social media for about 2 weeks, I then began to slowly reintegrate. So I began to slowly reintegrate myself back onto social media, and that meant that I would be on social media for maybe like just 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day and be really strict with it. Slowly I began to increase that to maybe like 30 minutes a day. There was one point during the last lockdown I started like doing up numbers again. So I said nope, back to square one. But yeah, I think now I'm back into the habit of just making sure it's just like 10-15 minutes maximum. And yeah, that kind of is part of like the reintegration, slowly reintegrating yourself back into social media. And even then, just one platform, just Instagram or Facebook, which I'm so embarrassed to say I still use. But yeah, just slowly reintegrating myself back onto those platforms, and yeah, at 10-15 minutes a day. Another thing I did was I made sure that I wasn't using, when I was reintegrating myself back onto social media, it wasn't like the first thing I did when I woke up, and it wasn't the last thing that I did when I went to bed. It very much was like it just happened to be part of my day. And now it really is just happens to be part of my day. Like I refuse to go on social media like the first thing that I do in the morning, because like once you start doing that, you're then triggering yourself back to where you were. So yeah, I think another thing that I've tried to do is think about like how I use social media. So am I using it for business purposes? Am I using it for research? Am I using it for tea? Am I using, like, just thinking about how am I using it? And if I am using it for tea, if I am using it for enjoyment, then I'm using it at the end of a really long day. But if I'm using it for research, then I'm allowed to use it whenever I want. But yeah, just thinking about like why you're using it, and then using that why to determine when you use it. So yeah, this is kind of like my tips. These are kind of, you know what I'm trying to say in terms of breaking that addiction. It works for me. I hope it works for you, and I hope that you're able to like rethink your relationship with social media so that you can do the things that are most important to you. What was most important to me was reclaiming back my creativity, and if not for coming off social media, I would not have been able to kind of reclaim that part of my life that I so thoroughly enjoy doing and being, if not for coming off social media. So whatever is important to you, whether it's talking with family and friends, having those meaningful conversations, being creative, being productive, getting the job done, learning a new skill, whatever is really important to you at this point in your life, or whatever really makes you you. For some people it's music, for some people it's poetry, and they're finding that they're in a real mental block and they just can't get out of that funk. Well, if that's you need to really consider like your time on social media, and I guarantee you that you will be more productive in that specific area, because it's just a fact. Like, there's a song that I love and it goes, in the same space How we gonna look for different results in the same space? And I love that song, like, just because of the message. I think it's Tiana Mijanine that I just came across. Like, it's facts. Like, you can't look for a different result if you're in the exact same space. So if your same space is waking up, going on social media, doing your 9 to 5, going back on social media, then going to bed. I'm not saying that there's nothing. I'm not saying that that's a bummy life, but if that's your same space, you can't approach a new part of your life expecting things to change if your space is exactly the same as it's always been. You have to change certain things, and part of changing certain things to get different results is removing social media from your life. And like, you can really switch up your life, and you can really transform like the things that you put your mind to and the things that you do if you just come off socials. So I know it's a bit of, I'm talking from YouTube, but for me, for me, my relationship with YouTube is more like learning. I like coming on here to learn, so it's not a huge issue. But yeah, like, however you use it, is it productive, is it not? If it's not productive, then rewatch this video. Thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for coming and sharing and supporting. I know I've gone on a bit, but I really do hope that this is something that I'm really passionate about, and I really do hope that you take on this advice and you switch up your life. And you let me know once you've done this, like, the results. Okay?